God.
I'm a bad person.
Welcome back to the show, Queso. Oh my goodness. So no, so one of the things that since when you brought this to me, I thought that it was a really interesting subject to talk about because like it is different in the kink community and in alternative relationships.
Yeah.
Because love doesn't take the same. Everyone thinks that it's this one branch thing. For instance,
I would say in America specifically also because in other languages it seems that they permit and allow for a wider definition of love. It's like in Italian there's like 49 different words for love. There's brotherly love and there's parental love and camaraderie love, just all kinds of different love. It's not always this romantic love, and sometimes it's lustful love, and it's no less, and I don't know. Well, you know what? It's generational because my parents are not romantic either, and their anniversary's coming up on the 10th, Thursday. But they are not. They're not what I would call romantic people. Although I would call them incredibly traditional cis etc. They're not alternative in any kind of way.
well, it's like my parents were married on Valentine's Day because they thought that would be a really cool thing to do. And
No, your dad was lazy, and that was a date that he already knew he would have to remember something.
he told me he actually straight out told me he says I don't know why she wanted to get married on that day, and I'm like, okay. I was like, wait, you didn't? Did you guys come to that on a conclusion? He says no, she did, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's one of those things that it's like, well, you have to understand, like, the first mistake those two ever made in getting married was the sheer fact that he knew that she was a Trekkie and he was a Star Wars fan. And
Are you okay? Wait.
that's not.
Wait. Are you saying that the two twixt shall never meet?
Have you not been to a convention with the two? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they both suck. So
Yeah. Well, go to a sci-fi
see, no.
convention and see that.
You
in
see
general.
Trekkies and you see Star Wars fans and you see them not getting along. I don't see any of that because I'm over here with the cool kids that like Firefly. Fifth Element. That's where it's at.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you mean that show that got
Speaking of
that
which,
show, you
I
mean
see
that show that only lasted
that was
12
so
episodes?
good it only needed.
Yeah, lasted 12
So
episodes
good,
of a movie.
it only needed, and those 12 episodes were enough to cause, what are we on, like year 20 something of lamentation that there aren't more. Do you know why? Because Joss Whedon did not need to make another car payment. Whereas the people in Star Trek and Star Wars, they need to make more car payments.
I love the fact that you
so
said
they
that.
just Xerox off another one.
I
And
love
y'all eat it up.
I love the fact that you say that because I straight up like think he is a terrible writer.
Joss Whedon?
Yeah, because you
But
know
it's
why?
not so much about his writing, it was the delivery.
No, it's just
Nathan Fillion for one thing, and just the
Yeah.
entire cast. It was kismet. It was absolute
I like
perfection.
no, don't get me wrong. I like Firefly. It's Whedon I don't care for, and the reason I didn't is because you have to understand. I watched
I don't
every
because he
season.
gave Angel his own series, and it's like that's
That
freaking
was-
stupid. Nobody cares. Give us James Marsden. Spike is where it's at.
Yeah,
Spike.
but
Spike
the thing
was where
is,
it was
but
at.
Spike started showing more up in Angel than anything, and the thing that I have an issue with is, and this was a
That
real issue.
Angel sucked. Didn't he become Bones? The guy on Bones.
Yeah.
He was, right? That
Yeah.
was the same one, right? Okay.
Yeah, you want to know who else he?
I was being
Do you
stupid.
know what else he did? He was Leon in Kingdom Hearts, aka Squall from Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, do you know what? Okay, so when I was cutting out triangles last night, which I was doing for love, believe it or not, might not have been romantic love necessarily. Love of the cosplay, love of the creation. I was watching The Fifth Element, which I often do. Like, it is a background thing for me all the time. I'm obviously, indebted to this, and I want another one on my back. I'll tell you about that some other time. Anyway, I was watching it, and Finger, the boss, Corbin Dallas's boss, it's always nagged me something about Finger. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. I can see this person. I know this person. I know that voice. Do you know who it is? Now, this movie was made in 1997. It was Vin Diesel.
That makes sense.
Vin Diesel was Finger. And it's like, Corbin. You know? And it's like, it's that gravelly voice. And it's like, all I can hear is Riddick.
Yeah, because that would be
telling him to bring his taxi in for a 6-month checkup. And then later on, I got curious at the very end when the total spoiler alert, like nobody has seen this movie like 1,000 times. When the president has come to greet the heroes, right? And they need 5 more minutes or whatever. And then Corbin's mom is calling and like talks to the president like, "Oh please, you don't sound like the president. The president's an idiot. You don't sound like an idiot." Her voice has also always bothered me, and it's like, I should know who that is. Like, that is a common enough voice. I should know who that is.
Who was it?
Haviland. Oh, I can't remember her last name, but it's a very unusual first name, so that alone could help you find out who it is. I have pictures saved on my phone because I want to make like a meme-ish about it. Do you remember in the movie 16 Candles?
Yeah.
The popular blonde girl that had her hair cut out from the door?
Yeah.
It's her. But wait, there's more. There's this really hot redhead chick from like more recent stuff. Hang on. I don't know how much of this is NSFK. Not safe for kid. Sorry. They can't all be winners, alright? Okay, there. I don't know if you're allowed to show her face or anything. Her. That's the same chick.
Oh, wow.
And it's the chick that did the voice. She looked like this. Near 1997. Doing the, "Oh, Corbin, come on. You're there in Lost Paradise, and I'm stuck here on the second dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
It should be my ass sipping Mai Tais." And it's like, how does she have the audacity to look that beautiful and be able to do that voice?
Oh, wait. Hey, how are you?
Who?
Huh?
Who's here?
This is Queso. I would like, this is a... Yes. This is the guest on my podcast today.
Jesus.
This is
They're
the
very
podcast.
excited to see you.
Apparently. But, yeah. How have you been?
Oh, good. We're doing stuff live, too. Because then we can ask them questions and how they interact with that. That would be, like, more interesting than listening to, like, jabber.
Well,
I should have brought a lollipop.
Well, here's the thing. So...
I stole snacks from the promotion the other night, and I haven't eaten them yet.
What type of snacks did you take?
I know there's at least 2 of the beef sticks. Oh, and a pack of, like, Oreo cookie something or others.
You're...
I never know when I'm gonna get snack happy.
Oh, you're grocery shopping.
Hey, you're snack happy. It's a bad time to do grocery shopping.
Yeah.
So being grocery shopping, you're probably being inundated with Valentine's everything because it's coming up. And I don't know. Me personally, like, I do a lot of filtering out of it, but there's still and will always be this part of me that I see it and I have like snide thoughts. I think less of people that are falling into all that capitalism, commercialism, and then you've got the other side of it, your gold diggers, whether they be male or female or somewhere in between, the people that, like, that is how you prove. But really what it is love languages. Everyone understands love in a different way, and they both give love and receive love in all these different ways. And to some people, the giving of gifts, like every time I take the love languages quiz, it just makes me depressed because it's like, does it mean a lot to you if your partner does blah? And it's like, Well, I don't know what it would mean to me because I've never had anybody do that. And by the end of the test, I'm depressed as hell because I've given years and years of my life to any of these relationships, and it's like none of them loved me. Maybe I'm just broken and I don't understand how to receive love.
No, that's not it. And a lot of times when it comes to people who are in relationships similar to that, where you feel that you don't actually, you've never received love, because I felt like that with a lot of the relationships that I was in. A matter of fact, a lot of the kink relationships I was in did feel that way.
Is it just a bypass of not communicating properly? Like you're speaking in Italian and they're speaking in Russian, but you can't understand Russian.
No, because in some of the cases you're talking the exact same language and they still act the same way.
Because Valentine's is very much like that.
Yes.
That is a specific love language. It is an outward, whatever. And some people aren't comfortable with that. It doesn't do it for them. And I think that makes them kind of push against the commercialism of it and well, why do I need one day to specify? And it's like, I have always told people, like, no, I don't really care too much about Valentine's Day or getting these gifts or that or whatever. There was an unspoken but in there. But I expect you to show up for our relationship every day. Not just give me all of this effort on this one day, so that everybody else can see what a good partner you are or whatever. Like, no, I want you to show up every day. I didn't see any new comments pop up, did they?
Yeah. So, what did you want to? What did you want me? What did you want to ask me? Is what they said.
Oh.
Well, so today's subject of the podcast is based on the idea of love in both in the community and in alternative relationships, and essentially, we're trying to discuss on what are some of the pitfalls that some people in those alternative relationships facing during the time of like Valentine's Day.
It's a time when normal social constructs can overstep into whatever relationship you have built for you and your partner or partners. Because it's kind of like this overreaching. It's the normal world kind of getting too big for itself and leaning over top of we've in my personal relationships, it's like I try to do my best and my partners do too. We stay communicative. Are you getting what you need? Is there something we need to work on, etc. and so forth? And that's fine, except there's always this looming shadow of you're not doing it right. So what are some things that you may or may not have noticed works? Like how that I'm word vomit.
No, you're making.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
You see, one of the things that I bring up when it
should
comes
throw pennies at me when I'm making sense.
No.
Wait.
What I'm about to say is that in the situation of is one of those it's one of those things where you're in a relationship and the two people are supposed to communicate on what it is that they are looking for out of the relationship. Like when you and I first started what we have, we communicated essentially what it was that we were looking for to begin with.
Yeah.
And the rules and guidelines behind it.
And what each of us could offer in that. Like,
exactly.
I wanted to make sure that you knew, like, I'll do my best, but I've got no understanding of what I'm doing, so make sure.
But the thing, and that was clear.
If I'm doing something wrong, please adjust me, help me out, even though it might break a thought, or a feeling at a certain time. If you have to break from character or from scene to be like, okay, so I know what you were doing right there, and let me just say, no, don't do that.
And that's the whole point of communication. But when you were talking about, like, during the time that we're always pushed to go and buy things for, like...
Yeah, to make some... Like, how is the world supposed to know? how does the world know how I feel about you?
Exactly.
And really, I mean, deep down, the true answer that we all know is sitting at the end of a Poetry Matters meme is, as long as you and I know, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But it can feel good to kind of be like, everybody can see it.
Yeah, but the thing is that, well, the kink community gives into that exact same,
Yeah.
that same thing too. Because what do we do on Valentine's Day but sell nothing but vibrators, ass plugs, and essentially what else? What else do we get? Paddles, floggers, whips, whatever. Corsets, harnesses,
Nipple clamps.
nipple clamps. It's
Labia
like,
clamps.
but all those things,
Wax.
all those things are a part of it. That was my fault. Okay, it's fine.
It's about time. Yeah, like nothing else in this room is your fault.
The fucking Explorer, the
Yep.
Explorer to
Yes,
Mars. That's not my
but-
fault. That was my roommate.
Uh-huh.
But what I was about to say
I'm listening.
is that we essentially, even though we're in the kink community, we still have to face off. We still have to deal with that because we are essentially, even there, money is essentially put forward for you to say
Yeah.
how much you care about this person. Because nothing says that you care about a person more than a flogger or a paddle to paddle their ass, which is and I feel that
Well, it depends on what they're into. Like if they're into floggers or me, I don't know.
no, it's because you're right. The thing is though, it's just
It depends on how much thought was actually put into it.
yeah, because some of those relationships, see, in kink relationships that makes sense. Like, no, seriously, all seriousness, it sounds like I'm downplaying.
Do not buy me
That-
cheap BDSM toys. Do not. Do not buy me a vibrator from the shelf on Walmart. Although, I mean, for normal people, they're good. They're very good for normal people. For not spoiled brats that are into high-end toys.
Listen, I can't use a Hitachi that is not either
That was group.
yeah. I can't use a Hitachi that's not like one that was created by. Like,
I know, we become so spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I mean, there is still that overreach from normal society, even like in the environments that you and I partake of. You know there will be those conversations, just like there are at Christmas time, of, well, what did you guys do for Valentine's? And then that creates kind of an issue when you get into the poly group, depending on how you run your poly relationship. Some people are kitchen table poly, which means we could all sit there at the kitchen table and get along just fine, and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Some are more like triads, thruples, or more closely knit, where they do engage with, crap, my mind went blank. What's the name for, we're both dating the same person. You and I are, not meta. Are,
A polycule.
that's all of us.
Yeah.
You are, metamor.
Metamor.
I knew it was meta.
I could not think of
Yeah.
metamor because I never use that word.
I do, but rarely. Like I said, in mine, it's run a step before the kitchen table thing of like, we have knowledge of one another. I've interacted with one, but we don't, I mean, if we do any interaction, it is through the shared partner.
So, do you think...
In some ways. And then there's other partners that I have where, like, well, that's what I had said recently. When that became an option that you could put that under your profile, partnered with, and there was allowed to be multiples, it's like, oh crap, I've got a lot of DTR conversations that might need to happen. Because, are we partners? Are we not partners? Like, I'm always happy. If somebody goes off to do something with somebody else, I want to be happy for them, because whatever they're doing, it's making them happy. And I'm hoping that they'll tell me about it, and what was good and what was bad, and how it worked, and how it's maybe going to redefine how anything is, and that in that thought process, are we partners? If that's the case, I'm partners with practically every single person I know. But we never DTR'd. Like, you and I have never really DTR'd.
No.
We've never defined the relationship and said, yes, we are partners. This is my little. You know? I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that because I feel that that prevents you then. Because then other people are going to look at that and throw a whole lot of monogamy on it and think you're off limits to play with.
So I actually have a story to that, actually.
And the ones that don't see it, even if they put monogamy on it but don't see you as off limits, they're trouble too. Like, those are the ones that piss me off. Like, you can see you put monogamy on us, and yet you went and did it anyway. But that bugs me.
But, so, I actually do have a story.
I'm listening. I'm sorry.
When
Yes.
When, earlier on, when I first started in the community, I had, ironically, so you're going to laugh at me with this.
Am I? Is it
I've had
set ironic?
9 mommies throughout my entire tenure of being in this community.
Jesus Christ, you slut.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, wait.
Please know I'm kidding.
They know you're kidding, because
Okay. You're not going to have a dipshit on here?
No.
You're not going to invite somebody on that
my crowd know me, and they know that yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
They know what? What do they know?
I hang out with them.
You said my crowd know me, and they know
they
that
know.
you hang out with them?
Yeah. They know who I am. They know who I'm.
Oh my god, you're adorable. You're so fucking cute. I'm sorry.
But the thing is that, like, during those times, I had a serious, I had an issue because when I went into those relationships, I didn't know much. And
yeah, that's understandable.
I was vastly inexperienced and didn't know exactly what to look for. I was more just so happy that I had someone that wanted to be with me. And I realized, like, over time that that's not what love was, even in the community. And so
it's a form of love because it's education.
Yeah, but it was only one-sided. That's the only problem, because
that is still love, even if it's toxic, even if it's not toxic, but just not equal. What's the other word? We're not looking for equality, we're looking for equity. You know, and some people are not equitous with their partners. So if in any of those mommy situations or relationships, was it always a one-on-one, or was it sometimes you were of multiple children?
There was mostly only one situation where it was multiple, but all the other ones, it was just me. And what happened is that I think this is the reason why I'm not, I got the chance to grow and not be like how some ABs are, where they're really needy, where they need, like, that attention.
Oh yeah, you're totally not needy at all.
Yeah, and it's because I felt like that wasn't the situation that, like, would be beneficial for either me or them. And so I was like...
And that's the thing, too, is you do grow through the relationship. Sometimes the relationship doesn't grow with you. You know?
And that was definitely a case of that. So what happened later on is just that I decided to take a completely different approach. So I started approaching it way differently, where I was like, okay, this didn't work because of the fact that maybe I was a little bit too needy in this relationship. Maybe I need to learn to be a lot more independent. And I did, and I taught myself a lot.
But some relationships, that's what works, is the neediness.
Yes. It just sadly didn't work with those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, I really need to learn to better myself, because
You can still want it, but don't let it destroy you when you don't get it.
Yeah. And I can tell you this, it destroyed me when I didn't get it, and I was like, yeah, I gotta do
That's where the poly and the relationship anarchy saved my ass incessantly. Because, like what we were talking about earlier, like, oh yes, I want it to be romantic, but it's not. And it's like, that's okay. I have other people that I can get. And there's a lot of people that they want to get into some kind of DS with me or whatever, or they think they do. No, they don't. It's just not there. But then there's other people that suddenly one day I'm just like, I didn't realize this, but every time you say this one thing to me, I get warm and my back arches, like my ass flares out, like, okay.
See.
And it's an auto response. It's just there. And it's like regular sexual relationships. If it's not there, you forcing it or trying to make it there for me is gonna send you the other way.
See, and that's the issue that I had. Like, for myself, my biggest problem is that it wasn't so much forcing as it was me not being able to. I guess the way that you would explain it, you would say it is, the issue that I had was that I was wanting something that was ideally from something that I had seen in, like, ABDL porn and stuff like that.
The same way as I still have a magazine cut out from one of my sister's magazines in the 80s, because that's what a girl is supposed to look like.
Yeah. And
so I tried growing my hair that way, and I got earrings that looked the same, and I learned how to do my lip gloss just the right way. And at the end of the day, there's not enough lipstick in the world for this pig. I will never look like that girl. And in my head, I will never look like a girl.
Yeah, that's similar to the exact same thing I was just talking about.
So, your introduction or the some of the beginning stirrings of ABDL in your vision, the things that made you go, that, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That, I want that for myself. Suddenly became the headliner of the goal to achieve. What do I have to do? What hoops do I have to jump through? And all of that. And at the end of the day, what it turns into is, get rid of the hoops.